I want to cut across right now to Manisha Malhotra. She's the head of sports excellence and scouting, JSW Sports, and former tennis player herself. Ms. Malhotra, appreciate you taking the time out and joining us. For someone who manages a lot of sports stars, of which many have spoken up today, do you see, in terms of what we are witnessing over the last 6 days, not just our wrestlers protesting, but the kind of support that they have found from their own ilk, a possible turning point where sports in our country is concerned, of finding their voice, being vocal?
Well, I mean, I think that's a very heartening thing. Sports is a very small family. We're a very small community, and really we know each other. And if a moment like this can't bring sports people together, then no other moment will. And you know, it's very heartening to see that truth and justice will be kind of at least allowed to kind of come to light and be shown. And that's all we can ask for, is to the voices of our athletes be heard, and let what the truth is come out into the forefront.
You know, Manisha, Ms. Malhotra, what happens is that many times, because the kind of commentary that you see around protests such as this, that these are players that are spent, their careers are over. But, you know, today India actually woke up to somebody who's in top form and the top of his game, Neeraj Chopra, coming out in full support of these girls. You know, that completely changes the equation in terms of what we've seen before in the country.
Well, I mean, I think that every athlete has a voice, and our icons and athletes, whether they're current or former, need to use that voice for the greater good of society. So Neeraj has always been very, very clear. He's very strong-willed. In if something he believes in, he will speak about it. And being a current athlete is not something that should hold you back from being able to express your opinion. If we've come to the point where that's the case, then it's very, very sad.
But, you know, Ms. Malhotra, it's an utopian thing to say that if we've come to this place, because we have come to the past, because we can see how clearly divided our sports fraternity is, especially at the back of, you know, the likes of P.T. Usha, who'd come out and call this indiscipline, or even the sports minister who'd say, you know, that we tried to build bridges, but really nothing happened, and now they need to call off their protest. So there is a division in terms of players as well, where the politics is concerned.
Well, yes, I mean, and that is the opinion of the sports ministry and of the IOA, of which both the sports minister and P.T. Usha is speaking about, and that's okay, and they are allowed their opinion, but every athlete who has seen a struggle is also allowed their opinion. So that's where we stand today, and that's where the road ahead lies, is to unearth the truth, and whoever it has been faulted or not been faulted, and whoever where there has been injustice, those people are brought to justice, and that's all anybody can ask for, and that's, I think, all what anybody wants.
Ms. Malhotra, I'd like you to maybe, you know, talk a bit about it, the fact that you handle the careers of many of these girls who are very young, 14, 15, 16, you know, who come from very, very small, far-off places. What we see as the audience and as, you know, the country is the podium finishes, draped in tricolor, you know, the nationalism attached to it, but that whole struggle, the fight that goes on behind, and the sheer fact that you have something as serious as a sexual assault charge which is being leveled by these girls, and, you know, at least of the 7 that have done so this time, one of them is a minor.
Well, I mean, sexual harassment is a worldwide problem. It's not a problem that's isolated within the Indian diaspora. So that in itself is a huge challenge for us as administrators in sport, is to tackle, to safeguard each and every athlete, male or female, who comes into our care. So I think that this is a wake-up call for a lot of different federations, for a lot of sports bodies, for a lot of private organizations within society as a whole, and not just isolated to sport, to kind of protect and safeguard young girls who are really kind of, you know, putting it all out there and really coming out of their comfort zones to be able to train and represent the country for a much larger good. So safeguarding is the new hot topic in sport, along with mental health. So, I mean, it's all the way up from up to the IOC. There are people trying to come up with mechanisms to have safeguarding principles for athletes and young girls, especially, who are coming into sport.
Ms. Malhotra, the fact is nobody's saying take their word as the gospel truth, but the gaslighting of it all, refusing to register an FIR. For someone who's managed talent for so many years, how deep does the rot go in terms of sexual harassment?
Well, I mean, sexual harassment in itself is the lowest form of abuse. I think that it's disgusting in so many levels. But we don't know how deep it is and how not it is. I think that it's only these kind of people who will start voicing their opinions and being allowed to kind of come out there and have the brave like backing of people who will kind of support them and come out there and say what's wrong. Will we be able to unearth the truth? And that's really what is really commendable for these kids. And I'm so proud of all these kids who have been able to have the courage to come out there. So I think that it's a great moment for an Indian athlete. And, you have these people who risked a lot and put a lot on the line to be able to speak what they think. And we don't know if that's the truth or not, but they have a very strong experience and they are wanting to be heard.
I'll ask you two final questions. The sheer fact that we've always talked about other sports in cricket and a protest such as this has clearly highlighted that proverbial divide that stands, because what we've seen is some of the top Olympians and other sports icons come up and get the back of these wrestlers and say, we are standing with you, despite of the system failing them. But the entire cricketing fraternity, the current ones, I'm not talking about the likes of Virendra Sehwag, completely away from it all. Not one, word of support from them.
Well, I mean, I think that's just how it is. I think that we can't expect support from each and every person. The people who do believe in it and in their hearts do believe that they want to support should be able to come out and say it. If you don't believe in it, and if you do believe that you're not really kind of feeling what these people are saying, then don't. I don't think there's any force for you to voice your thing. You don't need to really jump on any kind of bandwagon. But every athlete needs to stick to what their own convictions are, and if they do support these people, they should really come out and say it without any fear of repercussions.
Ms. Malhotra, once in a way, there is one event which turns out to be a flashpoint or the turning point in the history of, of sports in a country or any other dimension. Do you see this as one? Do you see things being different from here on?
Well, I definitely think this is the first time where sexual harassment, which is, always whispered about in different corridors of power, has been put front and center. We had a whole larger Me Too movement a couple of years ago, but from the sports perspective, this is the first time when it's become a very big national topic that's trending on several platforms on social media, and everybody's talking about it. So I think that there's only positives that can come out of this. I think that, we have to learn how to voice injustice and how to kind of be able to make sure that every one of our athletes is heard. They may not always be right, but they are heard.
Well, thank you for joining us, and I would reckon, we've been speaking to all the wrestlers who are protesting, and every time we've spoken to them through the course of the day, they've come out and said that, we thank the other sports icons that have come in support. Many of them you manage and your company manages, so do give them our regard, because, when you have somebody like Neeraj Chopra, Abhinav Bindra, Sania Mirza, Nikhat Zareen coming out in support, the voice only gets louder to be heard. Thank you for joining us.